He made one simple choice, the right one. And it cost him everything. A job interview missed, a future put at risk, all because he stopped to help someone he didn't even know. What looked like a mistake was actually life testing his character before rewarding him in a way no one could imagine. Stay until the end, because this story proves one timeless truth: kindness is never forgotten. If stories like this still move you, leave a like and subscribe. It helps these messages reach more people. That morning he was already running late, resume in hand, simple clothes, worn shoes, and one thought repeating in his mind: I have to get this job today. As he rushed down the street, something made him stop. A woman stood outside a shoe store, clearly distressed. She needed a specific pair, high heels, size 38. She was late for an important interview, and nothing was working in her favor. He hesitated. Every second spent there meant being even later for his own interview. But something inside him wouldn't let him walk away. He stepped forward, not to impress, not to gain anything, just to help. And in that quiet moment, without realizing it, he made the decision that would change his life forever. He helped her find the shoes, negotiated the price, saved her precious minutes, made sure she could still make it on time. When everything was done, she looked at him with relief and gratitude. "Thank you," she said. "You didn't have to do this." He smiled politely. "I know," he replied. "But sometimes doing the right thing matters more than being on time." They went their separate ways. She rushed toward her interview. He checked the time and felt his stomach sink. He was late now, very late. Still, he didn't panic. He adjusted his shirt, took a deep breath, and whispered to himself, "What's meant for me won't pass me by." But life was about to test that belief in the hardest way possible. He arrived out of breath. The building was quiet, too quiet. At the reception desk, he explained what had happened, still hopeful. The receptionist barely looked up. "You're late," she said flatly. "The interviews are over." He tried to explain, just a few minutes, a small delay, a moment of kindness. But the answer didn't change. "You can apply again if a position opens," she said, without emotion, without interest. The door closed, not with a slam, but with indifference. He stepped outside, standing still for a moment, watching people rush past him. The city moved on, as if nothing had happened. He had done the right thing, and still, he lost. Or at least, that's what it looked like. That night, reality hit hard. No missed calls, no second chances, no comforting messages, just silence. The next morning he returned to the same building, not as a candidate but desperate for any kind of work. When they reviewed his resume, there was a brief pause. "You're overqualified," someone said. Then, almost immediately, "But the only position available is janitorial." It wasn't what he studied for. It wasn't what he dreamed of. But bills don't wait for dreams. "I'll take it," he said quietly. No anger, no pride, no argument. He put on the uniform, grabbed the cleaning supplies, and started working while others walked past him without noticing. What none of them knew was that the same mind cleaning those floors understood numbers, strategies, and decisions better than most people in those offices. But for now, he stayed silent. Day after day, he cleaned offices that weren't his. Desks where big decisions were made, whiteboards filled with numbers, meetings about projects worth millions. He listened, observed, understood everything. Sometimes he noticed mistakes, wrong assumptions, flawed calculations, plans that looked good on the surface, but would fail in reality. More than once he almost spoke up, but then he remembered his position. "You're the janitor." That's all they saw. So he stayed quiet, did his job, and carried knowledge no one asked for. Until one night, everything began to fall apart. That evening, the atmosphere in the office changed. Voices were louder, doors slammed. Tension filled the air. A major project, the one everyone was counting on, was failing. Deadlines were close. Numbers didn't add up. And the company's future was suddenly at risk. From the hallway, mop in hand, he watched it all unfold. He knew exactly what was wrong. The projections were unrealistic. The profitability calculations were flawed. One small adjustment could change everything. He hesitated. Speaking now could cost him the only job he had. Staying silent could cost them millions. Finally, he stepped forward. Soft voice, respectful tone. "I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt," he said. "But I think I know why the numbers aren't working." The room went silent. Then someone laughed. "You're the janitor," a manager said coldly. "Stick to cleaning." He nodded. "I understand," he replied, and walked away. But the truth had already been spoken, even if no one was ready to hear it yet. The next day, panic took over. The numbers were worse. The investors were arriving. And no one had answers. Meetings dragged on. Excuses filled the room. Still, they refused to listen to him. One manager, desperate, pulled him aside. "You understand this stuff, don't you?" he whispered. "Just help me fix it. I'll pay you." He looked at the man for a long moment, then shook his head. "This isn't about money," he said calmly. "It's about responsibility." He returned to his work. Not angry, not bitter, just honest. And that honesty was about to change everything. That afternoon, the company's most important guest arrived. A powerful investor, experienced, sharp-eyed. He asked one simple question. "Who designed this project?" Silence filled the room. The manager hesitated, then pointed. "Him," he said, naming the wrong person. The investor frowned. "These numbers don't make sense," he said calmly. "Who actually ran the projections?" Before anyone could respond, a voice spoke from the back. "I did." Everyone turned, the janitor, still in uniform. Hands slightly dirty from work, eyes steady. The room froze. He walked forward and explained everything. The errors, the corrections, the realistic projections. No arrogance, no anger, just clarity. The investor listened carefully, then smiled. "Finally," he said. "Someone who understands." The investor began asking questions, detailed ones, technical ones, the kind only a true expert could answer. And he answered every single one. Net present value, internal rate of return, risk scenarios, long-term sustainability. The room was silent again, but this time it wasn't disbelief. It was respect. The investor leaned back and said calmly, "I don't understand how a company can hide a mind like this behind a mop." Faces turned pale. The truth was undeniable now. The project wasn't saved by the managers. It wasn't saved by authority. It was saved by the man everyone ignored. The investor stood up. "This meeting is over," he said. He turned to the manager who had taken credit for the work. "You're fired." Gasps filled the room. Then he looked back at the man in the janitor's uniform. "And you," he continued, "should never have been cleaning floors." The decision was immediate. Promotions were announced, contracts were approved, the future of the company was secured. One by one, the people who had dismissed him looked down. Pride had spoken loudly before, now it had nowhere to hide. The room slowly emptied. People avoided his eyes. Some whispered apologies, others said nothing at all. The investor approached him calmly. "What's your name?" he asked. "Jose Daniel," he replied. The man nodded. "You didn't just save a project," he said. "You saved this company from itself." He turned to the director. Effective immediately, he is the new project manager. Jose Daniel stood still for a moment, not in shock, not celebrating, just breathing. After so many closed doors, one had finally opened, and it was bigger than he ever imagined. Later that day, he walked out of the building without the uniform. Same man, same values, but a completely different future. In the parking lot, he saw her again. The woman he had helped that morning, weeks ago, without expecting anything. She smiled when she recognized him. "So, you finally got the job you wanted," she said. He smiled back. "Not exactly," he replied. "But I got the one life thought I deserved." They stood there for a moment, in silence. Two lives changed because of one simple act of kindness. He didn't lose the job that day. He lost the path that wasn't meant for him. What looked like punishment was actually redirection. He chose kindness when no one was watching. He chose humility when pride would have been easier. He chose integrity when silence felt safer. And life kept score. Because sooner or later, character is always revealed, and so is reward. Sometimes not immediately, sometimes not gently, but always fairly. If this story taught you anything, remember this. You may lose opportunities for doing the right thing. You may be ignored for staying honest. You may feel invisible for a while. But the right door doesn't open by force. It opens by who you are, and when it opens, no one can close it. If you felt this story, make sure you've liked, shared, and subscribed, because stories like this deserve to be heard.